Questions people ask God. This is Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. Questions people ask me. Questions young children ask me. And because I'm in the young children's ministry at the church a good bit. And those young people ask questions, and they ask this question: why doesn't my mother and father live together anymore? Am I the cause? Have I done something to cause them? Is it my fault that they don't live together anymore? You know, parents, selfish parents who have divorced, or a man who is sorry and has put his wife away, or a woman who's sorry and has put her husband away, and all they've thought about is themselves, and they haven't thought about each other collectively. And a marriage is a learning process. And what a big problem is it all started back. For instance, when I was a very young man, I read a book by Billy Graham called Petting. The word petting, that means touching each other. Touching each other. I've known colleges that go all the way through high school. They have a Christian school, a grammar school, a high school, and a college, where no man and no woman are allowed to touch each other, not even allowed to hold hands on the campus. No physical touching. Physical touching sets a man off before his time. Physical touching and petting leads to premarital sex, or leads to premarital things that cause great grief later on in life. Now, we have groups of children out here today marrying. 2 children marrying. By the time they're 15 years old, they're walking down the street. I can look out my window almost any given minute and see a 15-year-old girl pushing a baby carriage up the street, married to this little old boy. He got his hair stood up in a minute and at the top. He got some tattoos on his arm. He's already been in and out of the jailhouse. And he doesn't work now. He's supported by welfare, and they have a child. And because they had the child out of wedlock, they're getting all kinds of aid, and they can't afford to get married, because if they get married, the wedlock, the aid will cut off, so they can't get married and still have this aid. And he can't get a job, can't buy a job, and so we have this problem. And now I have this child, and they're both selfish. They both think only of themselves. She thinking of herself, he's thinking of himself. They can't get together, but only at bedtime, and that's lust, not love. That is lust, not love. Their relationship is built on lustful moments, and then it's a war. It's a war until the next time, and then the lust takes place, and then it's a war again. So it's a continual war. This child that is born into this kind of situation is pulled to and fro in a selfish war between 2 people. All they want is what that pleases themselves, and that's it. And after that's happened, and then the guy says, hey, I'm going to run down the street with my buddies, and we're going to smoke a little weed. And then she goes off somewhere, and next thing you know, when they see each other, she's talking to some other man. He comes over there and beats the man up, ends up in jail again, because she's talking to another man, and he's jealous about it, and he ain't got no more brains than a man in the moon. I'm telling you, we are in a troubled world today. We are in a world today where you and I, grandparents, we need to shape up. We need to start talking to our grandchildren. We need to start helping them. I see a generation in my own family right now of great-grandchildren. I have great-grandchildren who are growing up like their parents did, away from the Lord, and they're going to end up with a very, very, very destructive life, hard life, and it's not necessary if we can have them. Now, it takes spectacular activity in a person to learn how to love somebody. You got to learn how to love somebody. I told a young man one time, I said, son, when you marry a woman and you take your shoes off, she's going to not be able to stay in the room with you. And that very thing happened. He married a woman, took her to a motel, took his shoes off. She ran out the door and went and had the marriage annulled. Listen, you need to know if the man's feet stink before you marry him. You need to not wait until you marry him to know whether his feet stink or not. You need to know what you're going to live with. You need to know, learn, but you don't need to live with them before. You need to know these things, though, before. You need to prepare yourself to give yourself to another person. There are many things that cause relationships to break up. But all of those many things only boil down to one real problem. And that is we are a selfish, very selfish bunch of human beings. We want everything our way for ourselves. I try to tell you young folks these things. I try to tell you boys some things. If you're a boy and you're thinking about a girl or about marriage, about something, listen. You marry that little old girl, she's lived in protective custody of her parents all her life. She may have a white full-poster bed with a canopy on it and a pink bedroom with pink quilts. She maybe has never, ever, not ever even picked her own clothes up. Her mama's always done it and put them in a washing machine for her. She may have never done a washing before, never washed a dish. They've got a dishwasher, and her mama throws the dishes in the dishwasher. She doesn't even know how to work that. She doesn't know how to do anything. She's never took the time to learn how to cook because mama's had to work a job, daddy's had to work a job, and they come home and stop by a fast food restaurant and sit on the couch and eat a meal. Doesn't even know how to sit at the table. Doesn't even know how to set a table. Today's family, many of today's family have reverted to styrofoam cup and styrofoam plates and throw it in the trash can. And at the end of the week, their trash cans are puffed up full of bags of trash with it, so they don't have to do dishes or don't have to do anything with any other effort. And so we're eating improperly. We're not learning how to eat at a table. We're not learning how to live with each other. We're not learning our idiosyncrasies together, and wonder why the marriage is falling apart. Wonder why everything is falling apart. It's falling apart because we're not taking note. We need to shape up, folks, especially those of us that are Christian. If you are a Christian, which is being Christ-like, you're supposed to think of others before yourself. I've been married 48 years. I put my wife first in my life, second to the Lord. She's first in my life. Second to the Lord, this woman is first in my life. I like to see that she has anything she wants, her heart's desire, and try to take care of it. My wife's not a woman with a lot of wants. One thing she likes me to do is keep the yard clean from clutter. That's a problem I have. And so I'm working on that. But all right, in many cases now, parents are not together. It's not the child's fault. But I teach this to my 13-year-old boys. Find you a closet you can pray in. Find you some Bible verses you can rely on. And you depend on God. Even though you're only 13, you have to depend on God to fill that void in that place where you got that hurt, when mom and daddy can't get along anymore. And pray for them. And I'll pray for them with you. And we'll see if the Lord can't straighten it out. Well, listen. I see again our time has come and gone. And we must leave. And I wish we could get deeper into this. This is a deep subject. But we'll see you.